There are some reviewers who take the middle road and they simply talk about the features that a device has. There are other reviewers that do their best to remain impartial. Unfortunately, I'm neither of those. I refuse to remain impartial, and in this case, I am making this video review simply to steer you clear of devices which I deem inferior. Latest on the list is the LG LEON. Of all the dumb names that they could have come up with, they call it the LG LEON, as if this is like Resident Evil 2 or something. So anyway, the LG LEON is just the latest in a long list of cheap plastic crap phones coming out of South Korea, LG and Samsung specifically, designed to put cell phone access into the hands of undeserving, underperforming children, especially when their parents get locked into a family plan where it's going to cost them a lot of money per month, but they think that they're getting what they deserve, when in actuality they're not. So anyway, the LG LEON comes with a crappy 1.2 gigahertz quad-core processor. Unfortunately, these quad-core processors, especially in a cheap phone like this, as you can see the phone retails for $139, these processors never actually live up to the specs that are told to you by Samsung or LG. On top of that, as far as features go, this phone only has 1 gigabyte of RAM. Now, what I've noticed is when you try to play video games, as I'm going to show you, there is an inconsistency among games. Like if you try to play Jurassic World or if you try to play Mortal Kombat X, there's an inconsistency with the performance of these phones. Now you may remember I made another crappy review on the LG Stylo, I believe it was, the T-Mobile stylus, LG Stylo. I don't know where they're getting these dumbass names. But anyway, battery life is pegged at about 10 hours talk time and 11.7 days standby. So that's if you don't pick the phone up at all, don't use it, you just let it sit there. It's supposed to last a little more than a week on standby. Nobody does that. Everybody pretty much uses their phone during the day at their work or school, and they have to charge it at the end of the day. There's a 5 megapixel camera, so right away you already know this is a budget device. Meanwhile, most other cameras, you know, are up to 8 gigabytes, 10 gigabytes. Me personally, it's the video camera I'm more interested in than the camera, for the very simple reason that when you're posting pics on Instagram and Facebook, you can put in as many megapixels as you want, but most of these websites are crushing down the file sizes, and you know, you're losing a lot of quality in your pictures unless you're paying top dollar for storage space. You know, when you put pictures on Facebook, it either upscales or downscales depending upon what the settings are. So, you know, 5 megapixels is not going to look that much different than 10 if you're on Facebook or Instagram. So, again, this is a world phone, quad-band GSM. It'll work pretty much anywhere in the world. It's here on T-Mobile here in New York City. It also, you can purchase it on Metro PCS, which is another shitty network for children. Basically, this thing is a toy. You know, this is what you get a kid when they're, you know, asking, oh, mommy, I want... Oh, look, T-Mobile says, hi, I'm a T-Mobile chat specialist. Oh, let me ask them a question. What phones do you have that... Oh, I must have that don't suck? What phones do you have that don't suck? Because iPhone 6 Plus is the best. Jessica, thank you for visiting. I would be happy to invite you. Shut up. Okay, so it has GPS with navigation. We'll get back to Jessica later. 4G LTE. Yeah, that's pretty much what everything has. But let me tell you something. If you want to get a smartphone and you don't know what to get, like you're new to the market and you don't want to take any chances on this cheap plastic garbage, get yourself an iPhone 6 or an iPhone 6 Plus. I'm using right now an iPhone 6 Plus to record this horrible video. I don't mind, you know, depreciating myself, because the simple fact is this video is going to make money anyway. So get yourself an iPhone 6, iPhone 6 Plus. But if you really got to stick on the Galaxy Android market, get yourself a Galaxy S6 or a Galaxy Note 4. Only because those are the newest devices out. And for the most part, you know, even though they're not as good as the iPhone, I mean, they're at the top of the Android market. All this other junk, LG, this, that, and other, all of this stuff is for people who want to be underground with their tech. It says, to better assist you, I'd like to ask you a few questions. Do you currently... no, I don't. T-Mobile's service isn't that good in NYC. The reception is terrible. Yeah, I'm gonna let you have it, Jessica. Sorry. Besides, you're probably in the Philippines anyway. Okay, so as I was saying, quad-core 1.2 gigahertz processor, 4.5-inch screen. Some people say that a 4.5-inch screen is good enough. Me personally, I prefer the 5.5 because I have really big hands. I'm a really tall guy. I'm 6'6", about 2 meters tall. So I need the extra size. Remember, size is everything. Thank you for your interest in T-Mobile. Well, I wouldn't exactly call it that. But here I am playing games with Jessica. Poor girl got to get back to work. You know, let me move on to another part of this review. I kind of want to see what she's going to reply, because I hadn't actually planned on this, but she just came out of nowhere with all these questions. I hate questions. Yeah, I think I want Verizon instead. Yeah, sorry, Jessica. I would like to let you know that we do have great coverage. No, you don't. No, you don't. It doesn't work well in my office. Yeah, you see, this I never actually plan on these things happening. I'll say just looking for now. And then I have to end this part because I want to get on with the review of the stupid phone. So let's go over the basics of the LG Leon. First of all, on the back, similar to the Stylo, which I reviewed, you have the on and off button right there. You have to touch it pretty much with your the tip of your pointer finger, and that turns it on and off. And then hidden without the positive or negative symbols, you have the plus and minus for volume. So that's volume. Well, first you got to turn it back on. So then this is volume. See, and the problem with this, and this is why I thought it was stupid on the Stylo, and I still think it's stupid. The problem is your finger may have trouble differentiating between the on button, the positive button, the negative button, and the camera. Just right now, I was touching the camera. But you know, that's what happens when you have these crappy LG designs. So anyway, let me try turning it on, and then you turn the I did it again. Let me turn the volume up. I shouldn't even have to look at this. They should have just kept it on the side. So anyway, turn it on again. That's volume up, and that's volume down. So this is pretty much the exact same design overall as the LG Stylo, except this one obviously does not have a stylus. Up top you have a headphone jack, and you have a microphone speaker. On the back you have the camera and the flash. You have the speaker exactly pretty much where you remember it. Then you have the USB micro, and you have another speaker here on the bottom. So the front is pretty much mostly glass, which means that you know, it's pretty water resistant, but you don't want to get any water in the speaker because the water will get in and leak down. So this is the system Wi-Fi. It's the exact same thing as the Stylo I reviewed. However, it's a smaller phone. It's a relatively small phone. You see my hand. It's a relatively small phone, as you can see. But this is the kind of phone that T-Mobile loves selling to little kids and loves selling to parents on these family plans, you know, so that this way they can try to, you know, when they don't have a Galaxy, they can say, because the Galaxies are more expensive, this is what they pretty much try to give you. But as you know, that's the home button. Everything is pretty much exactly like it was on the Stylo, minus the fact that the Stylo had a stylus. This one does not obviously have a stylus. And it runs pretty much the typical apps you expect it to run, Google Maps, this, that, and other. Let's look at Mortal Kombat. So, this is Mortal Kombat. Takes a little while to load. Mortal Kombat X, I should say. And basically, the way the Android market is, because you have such a large range of phones, some of them having very powerful processors and some of them having low-powered processors, what you end up having is the market has to disseminate between what phones can handle certain apps and what phones can't handle certain apps. So let's see, let's double check. Is the volume up? Is that volume up? Let's double check. Oh, there it is. Got to turn the damn volume up. Blah, 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 Sub-Zero. I don't want to hear it. Continue. So this is Mortal Kombat X on the LG Leon battle mode. One thing I've noticed is it runs slower than it does on iPhone 5S, but that's to be expected because the 5S has a 64-bit processor. So I noticed that loading and everything is a little bit slower, but what are you going to do? It's Android stuff. I mean, Android stuff, you're really not dealing with the best in the barrel, so what are you going to do? Finding allies and this, that, and the other. Okay, I want to skip to some fighting. Now, as for the music coming out the back, as you can see, it's not very loud. Oh, damn, it crashed. Well, let's go back. Let's try it again. Freaking app crashed. What are you gonna do with this garbage? What are you gonna do? Let me try it again. Look how long it takes to load these damn apps. This is ridiculous. iPhone doesn't take this long. It says this device is not officially supported, which once again is a reason why I can't stand Android. And the reason why it crashed was because the processor probably couldn't handle it or there wasn't enough memory. This is ridiculous. It says you may experience low performance and instability because you didn't buy an iPhone, stupid. Oh man, this hurts my feelings just using these silly phones. Whatever. This just hurts my feelings. I'll try to come back to this. This sucks. This just sucks. Let's look at the crappy camera. Silly ass camera. This is ridiculous. And I love how much hate I get about these Android devices because you know I can't stand these cheap pieces of crap. So you already know. You know, I don't even try to hide it. Look at this. Look at this resolution. Look at that. Look at that resolution. That resolution. I mean, it's not terrible, but for God's sakes. The video camera. Let's see, did they fix that video camera bug where as soon as you push it, it starts recording? Oh, look at that. No, they didn't. So as soon as you push the video camera button, it starts recording. Even if you didn't want it to record, it starts recording as soon as you push the button. I noticed this on the Stylo. I don't know why they haven't fixed that because I consider that a bug. I mean, unless they're afraid, like, you know, you're trying to record police brutality and you need to push the button just once and it automatically starts recording and then the cops come over and take the camera from you. I don't see the reason why it should start recording as soon as you push the camera button. It's supposed to go into standby mode, but it doesn't. Oh, God. And, you know, it has a relatively fast shutter, but we've been seeing that since the Galaxy 3, so that's nothing new. You know, the other functions on this phone are pretty straightforward. This is the app for your weather, mostly cloudy. Real feel 85. We're in Jamaica, New York. Humidity 59 degrees. I mean, listen, if you've used any Android phone recently, you pretty much already know what to expect. Then there's also the Play Store, obviously, and because this is a T-Mobile device, you also have hotspots. And I've noticed that a lot of kids use hotspots regularly, so God knows how much the parents are actually spending on this stuff. But, you know, since these parents have been conned into thinking that all of their children are in danger of being kidnapped when they're not, their kids have been able to trick them into paying $100+ a month for a cell phone when they don't even have jobs. But in any event, if the parents are comfortable doing that, then I guess they're comfortable buying all this stuff when, you know, basically the kids lose them, break the screens, etc., etc. So whatever. But email, camera app, there's really nothing major that I haven't already looked at in the Stylo review that I did. You can play basic Android games. And as for the settings, what does the settings show you? Settings shows you that, you know, let's see about the storage and whatnot. Obviously, you can put these micro SD cards and stuff in these things, except this one I don't think has a removable back. So that means that this one probably, this 8 GB of internal storage, it says you can mount an SD card, so that means that there should be a way to take it off, which I'll look at in a second. But this comes with 8 gigabytes built in, and 8 gigabytes built in is not enough. You really need to have no less than 16 gigabytes, because some Android apps can't be moved from the internal storage over to the SD card. So let me just take a look and see if you can actually get inside this. As usual, these cheap plastic backs that you normally are used to seeing, you have to spread it with your nail, and that cheap plastic crappy back comes off. And it's funny because with the Galaxy 6, they've abandoned the removable back, so that means that now you can't replace the battery. You can't replace the memory card. Now they're going to start overcharging people for internal memory, pretty much the way Apple's always done it. So you could put an internal memory card, a micro SD card right there, or you could remove this 1820 milliamp battery yourself and you could replace it with another one. With the newer phones, you can't do this. So it looks like the LG phones actually kind of have an advantage over some of the new Samsung phones. The problem is the Samsung phones are more polished and they offer you more gimmicks and they offer you more technology. The Samsung phones offer you more gimmicks and they offer you more technology. The Galaxy 5 I actually liked because it had waterproofing, which allows you to take it to the beach and go underwater. The problem is the Galaxy 5 was such a crappily built phone until they discontinued it. So now they're up to the 6. And this is a straightforward LG phone in 2015. And frankly, I don't like the design of the power button, the on and off button. I do not like that because it's too easy to hit it with the wrong finger, and it's too easy for your finger to go this high and touch the camera. Pushing in on the camera hard enough could possibly damage the camera. I'm not happy with that. Other than that, I'm not impressed at all. I want to test out the YouTube app. Let's look at, once again, raising hell in Brooklyn on my YouTube video that I did for the Dodge Challenger Hellcat, which is the 707 horsepower American muscle car that they designed in order to put all the Germans to rest. Granted, it can't turn very well when it's doing 200 miles per hour, but you know, what are you going to do? All right. You have to choose which one you want to use, the regular browser or Chrome. I could have pushed Chrome, but for right now, let's just test the regular browser. Now, as you can see, the internet is not extremely good in this area, so, you know, it's not a big deal. It's going to load a little slow. Yeah. LTE doesn't mean shit when you're on T-Mobile, because T-Mobile is the worst service that we have in New York City. So LTE, 4G, 5G, it don't matter. If you're on T-Mobile, you've got the shittiest, slowest network you could possibly have. Look how slow, oh God. Damn near no signal. And that's another problem. T-Mobile has a serious problem with radio penetration into most of these buildings. You know, most buildings in New York City really don't have good radio penetration. Not with T-Mobile. If you want the best and you're in New York City, you have to have Verizon. Second best is AT&T. Now, I only stick with AT&T because I have 10 gigabytes to unlimited data every single month because I'm grandfathered into the original iPhone's contract. But other than that, like you know, I would go with Verizon. The only problem is, you know, I'm grandfathered into a really good plan on AT&T. So basically, for unlimited data and unlimited talk, I pay $80 a month with AT&T with a business discount. So, as far as I'm concerned, I'll stick with them for now. Okay, it looks like I probably won't be able to do this. I may have to do another portion of this review later because there's no penetration for the radio signals. So much for that.